You know what time it is. But just looking at the hub of the NBA, it's L.A. It's L.A. As far as I'm concerned, anything associated with the NBA should be in L.A. right now. I think the two best teams in basketball are right here in L.A. I think the championship comes down to the Lakers and the Clippers. Philadelphia 76ers will have something to say about it. Boston Celtics will have something to say about it. Once Kevin Durant gets back to Brooklyn healthy, he might have something to say about it. But I'm telling you, for the moment right now, for the time being, I'm here to tell you, the hub of the basketball universe resides in Los Angeles, California. Basketball, this is the Mecca right now. Ladies and gentlemen, the Staples Center is the one arena in the entire NBA that will have a championship contender on its basketball court all 82 games of the regular season. No other arena can say that. You know why? Because teams only get 41 home games a year. But the Staples Center have two teams playing in the same arena. And I happen to believe they're the two favorites to win the championship. But I'll get into all of that as the show progresses. For the time being, I want to transition back to some National Football League news because, no surprise, Antonio Brown making an absolute fool of himself, fighting over not wanting to wear a new helmet and not wanting to comply with NFL new safety measures to protect the players and potentially avoid concussion protocols and hopefully prolong individuals' careers. Antonio Brown was fighting against all of this because he wants to wear the same helmet he's been wearing for years, which is outdated and no longer falls under the compliance rules of the National Football League. So does he complain? No. He doesn't stop there. Does he argue about it? No, he doesn't stop there. Does he hire an attorney and get his agent Drew Rosenhaus involved? No, he doesn't stop there. Does he hire an attorney and go and argue with the NFL? No, he doesn't stop there. This dude decides that he is going to quit football and forfeit $30 million unless he gets to wear the exact helmet he wants to wear. I told you yesterday he was lying his behind off. I told you that yesterday. He wasn't sacrificing those $30 million. Don't let him fool you. He's going to get that money. You know, matter of fact, when people tell you they don't need money, unless it's Warren Buffett, Bill Gates, or somebody like that, don't believe them. They need the money. Always remember that. Always remember that. But anyway, forget about me and just me talking about this. My guy, NFL analyst for ESPN, contributor to First Take. Catch him on NFL Live today as well. Former Super Bowl champion with the New England Patriots. The one and only Damian Woody is on the line with us. What's up, big boy? How you doing?
Man, I'm jealous of you right now, man. You out in that LA weather, brother.
Well, you know, I mean, the weather in New York and Bristol ain't bad right now. I mean, it ain't like it's December, bro. Stop exaggerating. It's nice out there.
The vibe in LA is different, though.
That is true. That is true. You know, and I'm about to do a commercial, and you know, I'm hanging with Snoop Dogg today in the whole.
Okay,
so I'm good. I'm good.
That's that humble brag right now. Okay.
All I'm trying to say is, you know what I mean. To the victor goes the spoils, my man. You know what? You too can be here someday. You too can be here someday, David. Listen, man. Let's get right into it, bro. Your thoughts about this whole thing with Antonio Brown. Now that it seems to be behind us all, what did you make of his argument? How valid was it in your eyes? What do you feel about the way that he acted and how things have transpired since?
Yeah. Listen, I first of all, I understand rules and regulations, they are what they are. And it's not meant for compromise. It's meant for the safety of the sport and safety of the players. But there's a different perspective is that athletes are creatures of habit. We don't like change. Okay, even the great Tom Brady, when he had to change his helmet, he was reluctant to do so because there's a comfortable feeling about it. So you're just reluctant. So I understand where AB is coming from with the helmet situation. You've been riding with that your whole career with Pittsburgh Steelers. And then when you change helmet, man, the face mask is different. It messes up your vision and so on and so forth. So I understand it, but listen, he wasn't going to win that battle anyway. So it's best to just get you behind in the camp and get rolling.
Here's my thing. You're the new guy on the Oakland Raiders. They gave you $30 million in guaranteed dollars. Okay? You're the leader of the team. Any potential kind of residual impact from his showing his willingness to act like this? There anything that you can foresee being problematic?
Well, I think, this type of episode by AB, it definitely, listen, you only get one chance to make a first impression. Okay, that's the thing right out the gate. These guys have been excited to work with you. You're a big part of the offense. You're the main attraction. Everyone wants to come see Antonio Brown. And then you have this whole frostbite, the helmet. Guys in the locker room are like, man, what the hell is wrong with this dude? Especially the stories that you hear from week 17 of the guy basically quit. Mm-hmm. So listen, as a veteran, man, you just want your guys in the building so we can win, because football's not like basketball. Basketball, one guy can dominate. Football is dependent on the next man, and we need all hands on deck to try to change the culture in Oakland.
What kind of year are you expecting him to have? And I'm only asking that question from the standpoint, this isn't Mike Tomlin coaching, this is John Gruden. This isn't Big Ben Roethlisberger throwing him the football, it's Derek Carr. What kind of year are you expecting from Antonio Brown? Because like you said, it ain't basketball where you can dominate, one guy dominates. Antonio Brown can't do a damn thing if that offensive line don't block for him and that quarterback can't get him the football.
Yeah, listen, Stephen, you got to understand, man, and you're a Steelers fan, that Steelers offense has been prolific for years. That's hard to replicate going to a new team, new coach, new quarterback. That takes years and years of stability to be able to put up those type of numbers. Anyone who thinks that Antonio Brown is going to put up the type of numbers that he's been putting up in Pittsburgh, I think are sadly mistaken. Yes, well, I mean, Antonio Brown will he still be a stud and put up really good numbers? Absolutely. But we're talking about a guy that was for 6 straight years caught over 100 balls. I mean, that's just ridiculous. And the way that John Gruden likes to play football, he's going to want to run the ball. Okay, that's why they drafted Josh Jacobs out of Alabama, running back in the first round. So, AB, I think it's going to take a little bit of a step back, but he's going to get a lot of opportunities.
Well, the reason why I'm asking that question is because unless things are ideal, I'm wondering, shouldn't there be an elevated level of concern as to how he may act if the team is losing and he ain't getting his numbers?
Well, you bring up a good point, because think about this, Stephen. The Pittsburgh Steelers were in the mix all the way until week 17, and he quit on them in week 17. Imagine if the Oakland Raiders they go off and start off 2-5. What are we to expect from Antonio Brown in that particular situation? He's always had Big Ben and an elite offensive line and a really good receiver opposite of him. We don't know. We don't know what the situation will be like with the Raiders.
Damian Woody right here with Stephen A., ESPN Radio, ESPN News. Did you see the Giants and Jets going up against each other in their first preseason game against each other?
I did.
What did you peel away from that game? Talk to me about whether it's Daniel Jones, whether it's Sam Darnold, whomever. What did you peel away from that game?
I think Sam Darnold is going to be. I think he's primed to make a really big jump this year. I really do. I mean, listen, Le'Veon Bell didn't even play in that game. But you could see some of the weapons that the Jets have on offense, particularly Jamison Crowder, who was a slot receiver that came over from the Washington Redskins. He's going to help out Sam Darnold tremendously. And listen, even in the new system, you just see an air of confidence in Sam Darnold. Remember, this is a guy that was the youngest quarterback to start a season in NFL history. Mm-hmm. This guy's going to make a huge jump this year. And listen, with Daniel Jones, he was going against backers with the Jets, but I think he's starting to put to rest some of the chatter that everyone was talking about in the draft. Like, who is this guy? The guy looked confident. He looked like he knew how to run the offense. If he continues to build upon that, he's going to make things interesting for Eli Manning.
Mm. Damian Woody right here with Stephen A., ESPN Radio, ESPN News. Is that when you saw, because you listen to Gettleman, and it makes no sense to us, Damian, because we've watched Eli Manning. We think we've seen slippage. We think we've seen disintegration. You listen to the New York Giants, Eli Manning's got plenty of time left. Yeah, he's 37 years of age. They think he could play a couple of more years. They think he could play at a high level for the next couple of years. Apparently, they're seeing things the rest of us haven't seen. Now, they drafted Daniel Jones. One argument is that, okay, did they make the right pick by picking him instead of Dwayne Haskins? The other thing is, okay, suddenly we've transitioned from that to literally asking questions whether or not we should expect to see this guy sooner than later, because he might already be good enough to start and basically speed up the exit or the exodus of Eli Manning. Where do you fall in line with all of that thinking?
Well, listen, first of all, the Giants brought back Eli Manning at $23 million this year. He's not going to ride the pine to start off the season. But here's what I will say: Daniel Jones is going to play at some point this year, and the reason why, that Giants defense, to me, is going to be one of the worst defenses in the National Football League. And when the season starts to go awry for the New York Giants, you can't have your number 6 pick at quarterback sitting on the pine. He's going to play, and that's just the reality. It's just the reality of the situation. It's happened to some of the best quarterbacks in NFL history, and it'll happen to Eli Manning as well.
Now, let's get to the Cowboys, because you see what's happening with Ezekiel Elliott. You see the news about Dak Prescott and him turning down $30 million thus far. Correct my memory, I do believe somebody named Damian Woody picked the Dallas Cowboys to go to the Super Bowl this season. Are you still feeling that way, Damian Woody?
You want to bring up old stuff right now?
It ain't old. You just did it 2 weeks ago. You just did it 2 weeks ago. It's not old.
Bring up old stuff. Why are you bringing up old stuff right now?
Because it's what you said 2 weeks ago.
Well, you know what? Damn it, I stand by my word. I'm still gonna stick with him. I think. Listen, Jerry Jones embellishes all this attention, all this media drama. That's why the Dallas Cowboys are America's team. That's why the Dallas Cowboys are worth the most of any sports franchise in the world. So he embellishes it. He'll get this thing worked out. And when he does get this thing worked out, guess what? All hands will be on deck, and the Cowboys, with their roster, will be in contention to get to the Super Bowl. Like I said, I'm not backing off my pick. I'm picking them to go to the Super Bowl.
What do you think Jerry Jones? Who do you think Jerry Jones should take care of first, Dak Prescott or Ezekiel Elliott?
Well, listen, if Zeke is taking a team-friendly deal, then obviously it's going to be Zeke. But from all indications, that doesn't sound like the route that Zeke is going to go, so you're going to take care of the quarterback first. All right? I think that's where it all starts. The quarterback is, a guy that I believe was a 4th-round pick. He's exceeded expectations. By no means am I calling him an elite, but when you're a 4th-round quarterback, nobody expects you to perform the way that Dak Prescott has performed up to this point, okay? So you take care of the quarterback first. This guy's been clean off the field, done everything the Cowboys have asked him to do. So you take care of the quarterback, and then you move from there.
While I got you getting back to Antonio Brown, let me transition to the Pittsburgh Steelers, because that's my team. What are your expectations for them? Juju Smith-Schuster is going to be your number one. James Washington, who Big Ben was critical a little bit of at one point last year, has still showed out, at least in one preseason game thus far this year. James Conner, he showed what he could do. He ain't a Le'Veon Bell, but he's shown that he's a better than average leading man at the running back spot and what have you. And obviously the Steelers have made efforts to buffer their defense via the draft with Bush and others. What are your thoughts about the Steelers for this upcoming season?
Well, Stephen, I think I've told you. I think the Steelers will win the AFC North. I know everyone is on the bandwagon of the Browns. The Browns are the trendy thing. They're the shiny new car. That everybody wants to buy and jump in. But I'm buying Mike Tomlin. Mike Tomlin has never had a losing record since he's been the head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Correct. Mike Tomlin to me is like a blue chip stock. I don't know what Freddie Kitchens is going to be. I think he's going to do okay, but nobody knows. So with all that being said, I'm putting my money on Big Ben and Mike Tomlin and everything that they have going on within that organization that's been quiet this offseason to go out there and win the AFC North this year.
You know, how do you feel about Cleveland, though? Because I'm looking at Cleveland, and I'm with you about the Steelers. You know I am, but I'm thinking about Cleveland and all of those weapons. And Myles Garrett looks like he's going to be a monster on the defensive side of the ball. He's just too fast on the edge. He's going to make some things happen. And Devin Ward, Denzel Ward and those boys, we know what they could do. But offensively, Chubb, Kareem Hunt will be coming back after his 8-game suspension. You got, you got Odell Beckham Jr. You got Jarvis Landry. You got Njoku at the tight end spot. You've got some weapons with Baker Mayfield throwing you the football. What is your reservation about Cleveland when it comes to this division?
Stephen A., listen, it is hard to break through. It takes time. I mean, before last year, Cleveland Browns were perennially a joke. They made a jump last year, no question about it. They have a first-year head coach. They got a quarterback in Baker Mayfield, who I think is going to be a top-notch quarterback, but he's only going into his second year. They got a lot of shiny pieces, but does that necessarily make them a team? Okay, they're going to be a team that's going to be hunted this year, not the hunters. They're going to be hunted. So they're not going to sneak up on anyone. Everyone's going to be ready and going to bring their A game against the Cleveland Browns. The Pittsburgh Steelers have been there, done that. They know how to handle this, the expectations of being the hunted. Okay, so that's why I'm buying more into the Pittsburgh Steelers than the Cleveland Browns right now.
Damian Woody, appreciate you, man. Go ahead and do that NFL Live show. We'll be watching you this afternoon. Thanks a lot, my man. Thank you so much.
All right. I appreciate you.
All right, the one and only Damian Woody right here with Stephen A., ESPN Radio, ESPN News, 888-SAY-ESPN. That's the number to call over this, 888-729-3776. That was Straight Talk Wireless. Everything for less, only at Walmart. We'll come back with your phone calls, plus we'll get a little bit more into Antonio Brown, Ezekiel Elliott, Dak Prescott, and others. We want to talk a little bit about those Cleveland Browns as well. And we just scoured the NFL, Sam Darnold, Daniel Jones, and these boys in New York City. In L.A., Todd Gurley, his health, still a question mark with a lot of people when they're looking at the Los Angeles Rams. I ain't thinking much about the Chargers. Melvin Gordon might want to get back in the house before, he doesn't end up getting anything out of that deal. All that and more to talk around, so stick around. Don't touch that dial. You're listening live to the Stephen A. Smith Show, ESPN Radio, ESPN News. Oh, by the way, do you have frequent heartburn? Like the kind where you have an acid stashed everywhere in case it pops up? You know what I mean. You keep some in your bag or your desk or your car or your nightstand. You have those chalky tablets ready for whenever and wherever heartburn strikes. But listen up. There's an easier way to deal with your heartburn. That's Prilosec OTC. Just one pill a day will last a full 24 hours with zero heartburn. So kick your antacid habit. It's possible with Prilosec OTC. Use as directed for 14 days to treat frequent heartburn.